What am I doing running around Lumbridge in full blood Torva and my scythe, you ask? Well, Runescape just released a new boss, the cow boss Brutus. In order to do the boss though, we must first do a quest by starting the quest with Cassius over here, just north of the Lumbridge Castle and south of the windmill. Right now I'm just running around doing the quest, speaking to various NPCs around the Lumbridge area. Now I'm decked out in full Torva as I mentioned, and obviously this is more than needed. The cow boss Brutus is an early game quest. In fact, it's actually a free-to-play quest with an awakened version that is available for members only. Now I thought the awakened version was a meme. I didn't think it was real, but turns out it is. And in order to unlock the awakened version, you need to find some item in the middle of the Desert Treasure 2 quest, or after the completion of Desert Treasure 2. So sounds pretty serious. It's a pretty short quest, but we made it to the point where we have to fight the bull, which is Brutus. Release the bull, and I'm actually not completely sure of the mechanics. I do know you want to protect melee, and it melees you for the most part, but it does have special mechanics. Now, I almost just one-shot it, so I'm actually going to stall it out here, just to look for the mechanics. So it looks like there's a smash there, and looks like you can safe spot this, at least temporarily is what I've heard. I think if we stand here long enough, eventually the bull, there we go. Eventually it will dash through, and it does 19 damage, so okay. Let's just go ahead and finish off Brutus. After speaking to a few more NPCs, we finish off the quest here at Cassius. Once again, that is one quest point, access to Brutus's field, and Gilly's cowbell supply. That is the ides of milk completed. I imagine my dragon claws here should be able to just take care of it. Oh no, not a one-shot. 8 health left. Okay. There we go. A PB of 9 seconds. I did not know it tracked that. And actually, you know what? That is a combat task. We did not even get to that yet. So here we go. It drops a raw T-bone steak. And we're 83 health right now. So perfect timing. Let's just go ahead and cook it. Oh, I know how to play this game. I just used a tinderbox. Oh, it respawned. Okay. Well, it looks like it drops logs too, and you can just quickly, in between KCs, cook your food. T-bone steak. Get a little health back. Looks like those special attacks do a good amount of damage. So you want to make sure to avoid those, but if you have protect melee, or even if you don't, I don't believe the regular attacks do too much damage. Interesting that it gave us noted raw T-bone steaks. Also, these bull bones, 40 prayer EXP for burying them in the ground. Looks like you can't pick them up either, so that's the only option. Probably a really good early game prayer EXP training method. A 6-second PB, some potato seeds, and because I was too busy talking and not avoiding the mechanics, I definitely need these T-bone steaks. Seems like in the blog post it said they heal for 10, but currently in the game right now on release day they're healing for 9, so I'm not sure which is the intended number here. But right now in game it is 9. Got some mind runes there. A 5-second PB. Surely at some point I can just one-shot it with my claws here. Let's try on this next one. Also, I'm not potted, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, I slapped on Torva instead of Oathplate because I figured that this boss will have, like, no... Well, 2-second... That is Brutus Speed Trialist? Okay, I imagine there's no GM time, so surely that's all we needed. Looks like it drops regular logs and oak logs, so you could passively gain some fire making EXP here as well as it obviously being a food source that will sustain you throughout the fight. Unfortunately, I missed the recording on this, but I just completed the hard combat task Smarter Than a Cow, and I believe that's to not take any melee attack damage, which would obviously be very easily done if I was using range or magic, but I didn't bring it. But how I just got it done there was I just one-shot it. Oh, and that's another combat task there, just absolutely coming in. Brutus Champion, I imagine that is 10 KC. I'm not sure how many tasks there are, and it just occurred to me, I lost my Grandmaster once again. I'm getting it back, but I wasn't even thinking about it along this grind. Beef versus beef, kill Brutus while neither equipping nor consuming anything. Okay, we can very easily do that. Let's go ahead and do that on this next KC. Now, I am potted right now, but this might be okay. I'm just gonna kick it. Dodge the slam mechanic. Looks like it's in a corner L shape. And that should do the trick. We have re-obtained Grandmaster. I guess I do have to go speak to the NPC again, huh? Before we dip out and reclaim our Grandmaster status officially, let's go over what it drops, because I've been trying to go over that and I just haven't had the opportunity to do so. Anyways, the most relevant 3 items are going to be the Muleta, which is an offhand melee. Think of like a defender, that's what it is. In fact, they compare it, the stats are similar to a steel defender. And then you have the bottomless milk bucket, similar to the bottomless compost bucket, but for milk. I'm not sure where I would personally use this, but neat little item, I suppose. Maybe making cakes and potato with cheese and things of that nature are going to be more viable, who knows. And then there are the best in slot cow slippers. Now, do they actually have any bonuses? It appears not. It is purely a cosmetic. However, they do come in 4 different colors, and I think there's actually an awakened version too, like a kitted version too. So, you know, I think I touched on this already, but when they were discussing the cow boss, a lot of content creators and the JMods themselves were talking about an awakened mode, and I could never tell if they were just trolling or not. Like, was it like a elaborate bit? But turns out it's actually in the game. All right, temporary break. Let's go reclaim GM officially. Warriors Guild teleport, Warriors Guild teleport, where is it? GM, Max Gamer, by the way, can't find the teleport, there we go. It's also on my Max Cape, I know that, but I was already in the POH. Feels like not too long ago I got GM, and then not too long ago I had to reclaim GM, and here I am again. I think I've completed a combat tier. And he sounds surprised, but I mean, I've done this before. In fact, I'm just going to drop that hilt. Don't need it. Let's go back to the cow boss. Okay, back to the cow pen here. And I believe if we speak to Gilly Groats, which is one of the NPCs you speak to along the way for the quest, she gives you, there it is, a cowbell amulet. Now, what does this cowbell amulet offer you? Well, for one thing, it can be rung in between KCs to make Brutus respawn faster. So for farming the boss, that's going to be fantastic. And it also saves you a tick when you're milking cows. So yeah, that's pretty niche, but that's pretty cool nonetheless. Now, it does have charges, so I'm kind of curious, like, what are the charges specifically used for? You need air runes to charge those. As I mentioned, the cowbell amulet can be rung to respawn Brutus faster. It saves you a tick when milking cows, going down from 7 ticks to 6 ticks. And as I just touched on just now, you need air runes to charge this, and that's because it is a teleport straight to this Lumbridge cow field. We mostly want this for the feature of ringing it to respawn Brutus faster, so we're going to go ahead and swap left click to ring, and then, well, let's get started farming the boss again. Surely I can get my hands on one of the slippers. That's honestly the thing I want the most, you know, forget the Muleta at this stage of the account. So here we go. After a KC, you ring the cowbell. There's a chat box that pops up. You can just hold spacebar to get rid of that, and then there is still a bit of downtime, but it is much, much quicker than the regular downtime. Along with the 3 uniques, this boss also does have a pet named Beef, so pet hunters better get started on that. Looks like air runes are also on his drop table, so you can charge up your amulet pretty much free of charge by simply farming the boss. Not that air runes are particularly hard to obtain. Before I dive into the awakened variant of this boss, first and foremost, let's try and get the uniques first. I still don't have any of the uniques. Now, according to the wiki, it looks like they are already posted. It's actually a 1 in 15 chance to see any of the 3 uniques. And we're already at KC 35, so maybe a little bit unlucky in that regard. But more specifically, the Muleta is a 1 in 30, the bottomless milk bucket is a 1 in 37.5, and perhaps the most coveted item of them all, the cow slippers, are a 1 in 150. You cannot script this. I literally just started complaining in the clan chat, where my cow slippers at, bro? You can see it timestamped 1547. The next KC, cow slippers. Wow. Let's put those bad boys on, and oh, back to back bottomless milk bucket. Okay. Okay, now we're missing the muletas. But okay, before we got interrupted by the bottomless milk bucket, I was going to say, I believe there's 4 different color variants. 5 if you include the awakened version of these cow slippers. So I don't know if we need to just keep farming, or if there's like a recolor or something. I'm not sure. I've been seeing other people wear oath plate instead of torva, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that as well, you know, just go with the crowd, you know. Surely people know something that I don't, right? So let's just go ahead and that. And I can't even put away my bottomless milk bucket. My bank is absolutely full. You know what? That is something I'll worry about later. Back to the cow pen. Oh, I just rang the bell. Looks like you can ring the bell anywhere. Imagine if you just rang the bell anywhere and Brutus just shows up. Like, you're just standing in Crafting Guild Bank, and then all of a sudden, just cows just start coming in. Oh, and it pays off to read and actually look at things. I was talking about the different color variants earlier, and it turns out there's a right-click swap option. Let's go ahead and put these on, and you can see there's a right-click swap option for the various different colors. Now, obviously, I mentioned there's the awakened version, so we're going to have to go and do that eventually. But right now, we still need the muletas, which is actually the most common item from here, and surprisingly, we don't have it. Okay, and there are the muletas. I was actually busy AFKing the boss. I just turned on auto retaliate as I was editing this video. Let's open the collection log here. That was 59 KC. We did 60 afterwards, just off of auto retaliate. And Brutus, that is all 3 items minus the pet, which, by the way, the pet beef is only, quote unquote, only a 1 in 1,000. So for a pet, that is actually not as rare as some other ones, and it actually seems like a realistic grind to obtain. So maybe we could consider doing that. All right, the item grinds are out of the way. My bank is full. I gotta, you know, we don't need these T-bone steaks. What are we? We have plenty of food in the bank. We are gonna hold on to all these other uniques though. And let's get sorted on the awakened, or I should say the cow-wakened variant of Brutus. So earlier I said that you need a certain item to do the awakened version. Well, it's the abyssal potato, and here we are in the scar area, which is why you need completion of Desert Treasure 2, and you pick up the growth. Now I actually had to hop worlds here because, as it turns out, it's not unique to each individual player, so I was accidentally stealing off of somebody that was already here, so I went ahead and just hopped worlds, so, you know, I didn't want to be rude. But yeah, we pick up these abyssal potatoes, and, you know, in a way, it's still like an entrance fee thing, like an orb or contracts, but obviously you can get an insane amount of these with little to no effort. So it's not exactly the same, but it is a ticket to do Awaken Brutus nonetheless. Let's go ahead and fill up our inventory here, and then we'll head back. Now, I did do a few attempts at Awaken Brutus already, and safe to say it did not go well. It's definitely a harder version of the boss, for sure. I wouldn't say that it's like the most difficult thing, but it's definitely a challenge. Oh, I'm alive. Let's combo eat. I should have brought my Dragon Claws. Okay, I understand what to do. I just need to react quicker. I don't know if it's like a one-tick reaction, but you definitely have to react quicker, and I was just very slow there. This was the first time I actually marked the Brutus NPC, though, so I could actually see its outline. It is a 3x3 mob, so that's good to know. I don't think it will take me too many attempts to do this, but at the same time, I don't want to jinx it, so let's just see what happens. Kind of funny seeing a bunch of max gamers over here, like, dying to a boss in the Lumbridge area. The Lumbridge cow pen. It's a little weird. Like, I know how to dodge them, but it's like I'm actively thinking. I'm having to think how to dodge them. It's not great. See, right there, I was slow on the third dodge. I guess maybe I put myself behind already? I don't know. No, oh, okay, that looked different to me for some reason. Oh, that's the charge attack, okay. No, it's 130 health. And there goes another plank, but I'm just now learning that it's actually immune to thralls, so there's no point in bringing my rune pouch and my thrall book. Kinda like Soul Haired it at the Colosseum. For the longest time, I didn't know it was immune to thralls, and it feels kind of arbitrary when they decide when or when not a boss is immune to thralls or not. It's kind of weird. Okay, to be honest, I'm being skill issued by the boss quite a bit right now, not going to lie. I am making it to P2 relatively consistently though, so that's good. It's just a matter of like reacting in time. Right now, the process between like reacting, like seeing it, and then processing and then clicking is really slow for me. Once it becomes more muscle memory, I see something, I click instantly, then I'm sure I'll get it down. But right now, it's just not clicking. With that being said though, I'm going to call it here, and I'll definitely check back in with you guys when I do manage to accomplish cow-wakened boss Brutus and get those mythical cow slippers. Yeah, there's so many people just standing around out here. Let me claim my stuff before I forget, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.